Now, all of you out there, go into your fridge, and if you have any of that chopped up garlic in there and oil that comes minced, go throw it away and we won't tell everybody. You are worthy of real garlic. Hi y'all, how you doing out there? I'm Chef Blythe Beck, and I know that things are stressful and terrible and you feel like you can't control anything right now, but that's not true. When you're stressed, when you're worried, when you don't know what else to do, let's cook about it. And I am here to cook about it with you. I want to walk you through how to set up a kitchen, all the essential things that you need to be successful in the kitchen, and how to make great dishes to entertain when we can, and make a kitchen that's full of love, food, and family. As a chef, people are always asking me what kind of pots and pans to buy. And people always think that the answer is the most expensive, but that's not true. When you're in your kitchen, you need pots and pans that are reliable. They can help you make delicious food all the time. My best secret, my biggest tip to everyone out there trying to purchase these new pots and pans is to make sure that you get double bottom pots and pans. Double bottom. That means that it gives you twice the security, a half a shot of burning it, and it always make your food delicious and consistent. And I don't endorse one product in particular, but if I was out there looking, I might be all in. So make sure when you're out there shopping, the most expensive is not the most important, it's the most durable. The things that'll help you create delicious food for years and years to come. Your best friend in the kitchen and your best friend forever and ever is going to be a knife. That's right, when purchasing a knife, this is where you want to spend your money. You want to make sure that you get a very sharp knife made of one piece of steel. But once you decide to make this big purchase, make sure that you love on her. She is your best friend. She's your right-hand woman, and she's gonna be there through all of the cooking you have to do. It is very important when you get this wonderful tool, not only do you take care of her when cooking and chopping, but whenever, ever you're trying to get things off a cutting board, you never touch this side of her. We always scrape from the back of the knife to the bowl, never from the blade to the bowl. This is gonna be the most important thing in all of your cooking. You'll make great cuts, you'll be able to cook like a pro, and pretty soon you'll be thinking you could cook for anyone. Now, not only do you need a chef's knife, because those are very important, but I highly suggest a paring knife. This is a little sharp knife that will help you peel, cut, brunoise, dice, do everything small cuts, and you don't need to worry about spending a whole lot of money on them. Use them, beat them up, and then throw them away. And finally, another important tool in your kitchen that people never think about and kind of throw away is a peeler. A peeler is very, very important. Not only does it help you peel your vegetables quickly, but it also uses as an apple core or a strawberry core. You could also use it at your bar if you're trying to make twists or you want to garnish your drinks. A good peeler is your best friend. Now, I remember the old school peelers that were all metal and rusty, but go ahead and spend the $5 and get the new one. Here's to happy chopping. I don't know. The basis of all cooking is flavor, right? And the most important, easiest, and cheapest thing to give you flavor is salt. Now, many chefs can argue about this, and many people can have their opinion about it, but I'm gonna tell you the right way, or the Blythe way. The most important purchase that you are gonna make on the food department is salt. Now, how do you choose what salt? I know people out there are gonna be like, oh, I love the little iodized salt. Some people are like, oh no, sea salt. Let me tell you what to do. Kosher salt. It is the best salt when you're cooking, especially when you think about searing big pieces of meat or making sure that you're seasoning fish, great with vegetables. Kosher salt has lower salinity and bigger granules, which makes it easier to control and harder to over-season things. The other thing you want to make sure is you've got good pepper. You can use ground pepper if you want to, or you can get a pepper mill, but you want to make sure you have good black pepper. Now, I know some people like white pepper. I personally think it smells like a dirty barnyard on a summer's day in Texas, but feel free to use it if you want to. And if you don't feel like using salt and pepper grinders, you can always get a salt cellar. I got this from a very good friend of mine who makes salt cellars, and I love it. If you don't feel like grinding every time you cook, salt cellars will hold your salt and your pepper separately. It'll be easy to get next to your stove and there for all the delicious food you're gonna make. Now, when talking about chopping, it does you not a damn bit of good if you don't have a good chopping surface. One of the most important things that you can purchase and really set yourself up for success is a good cutting board. You don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money on the name brand cutting board, but you want to make sure that you have a thick piece of wood with feet or a way to grip it. You want to make sure that it can't slide around on you so that you're cooking and your beautiful knife work goes all over the place. Make sure you get one that's firm and sturdy, and make sure that you cleanse it often. It is very important to sanitize cutting boards. They may never go submerged in water, but you can get a perfect cleaning solution that will sanitize it, make it clean, and get you ready to start cooking again. This is one of my favorite subjects. It's been an important part of my career for a very long time. Butter. That's right. This is an easy, affordable ingredient that can make all your food taste delicious. Have you ever tasted food at home? You're like, why doesn't it taste like a restaurant? I'll tell you why. It's butter. Now, when cooking with butter, you always want to make sure you have unsalted butter. You want to be the artist of your own creation. And by using salted butter, it'll taint the flavor of your food and make it too salty. So make sure for cooking, you always want to use unsalted butter. Now, if you have a delicious bagel out there, a gorgeous piece of toast, or maybe a little fish that needs some love, you can always use a little bit of creamy salted butter. The European butter is my absolute favorite. It is creamy, buttery, delicious, luscious, and you want to rub it all over everything. And you're worth it. The extra $1 it takes to get some of this great butter, you'll thank me and yourself after you eat your food. When learning to cook or starting to cook or wanting to cook for your friends and family, it's important that we kind of understand the basis of cooking. What are the tricks that chefs use to make things taste delicious that you probably didn't even know about? Let's start with chicken stock. It's one of the greatest gifts in the world. It's a great way to add neutral flavor and umaminess to all of your food. It makes things delicious and luscious and fabulous, but without adding too much flavor. Chicken stock is one of those things that you should always have on hand. And if you don't have time to make your own stock over 24 hours, reduce it, simmer it, clear it, go ahead and get the good stuff at the grocery store. Now, in terms of seasoning and bases of food, what makes things so delicious? Onions. Onions are your best friend. They add flavor, they add texture, and they make everything delicious. Poor onions get a bad rap because people think they make your breath stinky, or they think they're spicy or they're too hot, but that's not true. Onions at any level add to the deliciousness of your dish. Now, that's true. Raw onions may give you a little bit of the tough breath, but whenever sauteing and sweating with a little bit of onions, salt, and butter, you will start one of the most delicious dishes or sauces. Garlic. Let's talk about this. Now, all of you out there, go into your fridge, and if you have any of that chopped up garlic in there and oil that comes minced, go throw it away and we won't tell everybody. You are worthy of real garlic. Now, I don't mind if you get it already peeled. I'll take that cheat, but do not get it minced in oil. It is disgusting and horrible. I don't mean to be judgy, but I do. Let it go. You have time. I'll show you how to cut a piece of garlic. I'll even show you to make garlic paste. I'll show you how to put it in olive oil, but do it yourself. You and your family is worth it. And by God, the food that you're making is worth it. Take the time. Take a little bit of time, dice that garlic, and you will have something delicious. Now, people often ask me, why does my dish not taste like a restaurant? And I always tell people chefs have two secret ingredients. I had a stew chef once that told me that my food wasn't dancing on his tongue. And once I got over the Me Too movement, I tried to figure out what he was saying. He was talking about sparks, about food in there, and it got in your mouth, and it was exciting, and it was dancing, and you were having this makeout session with delicious food. And he was right. What was my food missing? Acid. If you start making a dish and all of a sudden it tastes good, but you're not dancing, you're not making out, you're not doing the tango on the floor, add a little bit of acid, whether that be nice aged balsamic, lemons, limes, something that's gonna make your food come off the plate and into your mouth and make people very, very happy. The secret to any good dish, it's a good olive oil. Now, people ask me all the time, what olive oil do you use? Which do you like to try? My husband and I, we love to go on olive oil hunts. We love to taste them all. We always love to find new ones. And sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. By the way, if you find a smoked olive oil out there, but we also try to butter olive oil. Butter and olive oil, although they're good in a pan, maybe not in the same bottle. The key to good olive oil is, remember, the darker the container, the better the olives. Think about that again. The darker the container, the better the olive oil. There's a reason they put beer into very dark bottles to store it. It's to keep oxygen and sunlight out of it. It's the exact same way with olive oil. The more sunlight or the more air that olive oil gets, it breaks down and gets nasty. You ever had a taste of rancid olive oil? You'll never do it again. Make sure when you're going out there, spend the extra buck or two to get the good olive oil. Anyone that's in a tin, extra virgin, and light olive oil does not exist. That is a made-up term. It is not a culinary term. Light olive oil is made with canola oil. Keep going. Go to the good stuff. Wait till it says extra virgin. First press, cold press. Anything with pressed virgin, we'll take. But light olive oil, you're out of here. Now I have one more secret of the trade that every chef knows and every good home cook knows. The best ingredient on earth, wine. Now lots of chefs argue about what's the best wine to use. I've always been told to use the best stuff, put the best stuff in the pot, because only what you would drink. That's a lie. Let's say you have a party and someone brings you some really nasty wine that you have no intention of drinking. Be polite, put it in the kitchen, and put it behind the good olive oil. But save it. Even wine that you don't want to drink goes great in dishes. It can help deglaze. It can add another flavor. It can help give you that je ne sais quoi to your dishes that people don't quite know what it is. Now, I enjoy all types of wine, red, white, bubbles, pink, rosé. It doesn't really matter. But I always like to have wine on hand. And just in case you may have a wine bottle that you didn't finish, okay, then you can save that to cook with the next day. Let's say you have red wine that you didn't finish that one night. Save that before it turns to vinegar and you can use it to cook with. Wine is a great way to add flavor. It's super cheap to use. And in case you get that not so wanted present, put it in your kitchen. You can use it later. These are tips just to help you get started. It's a way to get into your kitchen, to not feel intimidated and realize that you can do it. Remember, at the end of the day, if you're cooking with your heart, that's all that matters. So you burn it, so you char it, so it's, half raw, half not. It's not the point of what you're making or how it turns out. It's that you're making things for people and family that you love. Remember, your time in the kitchen is not about being the next Emerald or Escoffier or Chef Blythe Beck. It's about being with the people that you love in this time of chaos. The one thing that you can control is who you cook for and how often you do it. Now get in that kitchen, make a mess, and enjoy it. Send me pictures, send me recipes, or tell me what you are making for your family. I am so excited to have you in my kitchen, and I can't wait to have you join me on this journey of food, love, family, and friends. So make sure you push the like button and definitely subscribe to my channel.